Very important things that I see that people don't understand, and as a result, they get knocked out. The first thing that's very important and I think maybe neglected. Now here we're talking about not ring fighting, we're talking about actual self-defense. We're talking about street fighting. We're talking about life and death situation. Okay, so they are very different. I'm very pro sparring. So doing sparring, doing ring fighting, stuff like that is very good because you put yourself in that scenario and get to deal with the fear that arises, and it's good to not tense up when you're taking a hit, etc. Because no matter how good your limb tao becomes, if you freeze up, you're not going to be able to use it. And so I'm very pro sparring, that's all good. But realistic self-defense, street fighting is very different to ring fighting and stuff like that. Two people, let's say in UFC or in boxing, they go in and they know that no matter what happens, they're not going to die, right? They're not going to die. They'll throw in the towel, or someone will stop, the ref will jump in. Whereas on the street, it could be just even a push and you fall over. And so it's life or death. So, you get more of an adrenaline dump and stuff like that. I was a bouncer in King's Cross for a few years. Mark Spence actually is the one when I was training with Mark. He said, you should do it to get more experience. So I've had my fair share of experience with self-defense stuff. And one thing that I see usually, whether it be from my experience or you just got to watch on YouTube, is people don't usually have a guard. I used to do that a lot at school, and I've got, maybe little man syndrome as well, to try to make myself look big, at school. You're like, oh, you really want to go? Come on. And that's the worst thing you can do. You chest up and you tense up and you put your fists out here and you make yourself even a bigger target to get knocked down, okay? I actually did learn that the hard way at school. So one of the most important things you want to do if shit's about to hit the fan is guard yourself, okay? Now, I don't mean by that to do this. This is very good for, this is a training tool, as is this. This is all my opinion from my experience. These are great to do for, and in here, you should do it. Like in Chisa, you should have your stance and things like that. They're just training tools to enable you to be able to focus everything to the target. But if you're gonna do this, first of all, if there's a camera, and you're telling the person, I'm ready to fight you, and he's going to arc up and he'll probably hit, right? So what you want to go be clever with putting your hands up, So like man, I really don't want to fight. Or what Mark Smith, used to do is exactly that, So I used to use that for bouncing as well. So someone's talking and they look like, what? Let me in, bro. And they look like they're gonna arc up. So I would always just like that. So like that. Actually, the arm's already pretty much up. You're covering your face. It's much better than this. This is the worst, okay? So make sure you're guarding yourself in a clever way. Man, what are you talking about? I don't want to fight you, man. This is already a guard. Or please, man, I really don't want trouble, So keeping the guard up is very important. And these things are very important to remember and maybe even practice in class. A scenario where someone's coming up to you, goes, hey, what the fuck? And that kind of stuff is really good to do, to swear and things like that, because that's exactly what happens, compared to just me going like that, and this is good to practice. But every now and then to have that scenario and swear a little bit, excuse my language, but swear a little bit and come in and really go like that to get that, fear, and for you to practice how to put your guard up straight away, So things like that is really good. So guard is very important. Knowing your range is also very important. So like someone like you that's taller. So at that point, like if I'm standing here and it's about to kick off, he can kick me from there. If he can kick properly, he can kick me from there. I can't kick him from there. I need to go, this is my kicking range, this is my punching range, and closer would be elbows and stuff. But here is where I don't want to be. So you got to know your range. And this comes from, when you get it through the stuff we'll be doing today, you'll get a better feeling, internal feeling of your own body. You'll know where your range is. And of course, through doing pad work and sparring, you'll know. And you'll be able to see where his range is. This is the worst place for me to stand if I'm going to fight him. I either should be here, pick up a stool or just run away or avoid the fight, or I want to be here. So I want to walk and talk my way into it. No, I really don't know what you're talking about. Here, I'm comfortable. Here, we can go. Here is even. Okay? So range is very important, and positioning is very important according to what you're confident with. So maybe, in Wing Chun, we want to be able to strike this and defend and attack in the same way with all of our limbs. So you've got to be able to hit as hard with your right as you can with your left, and the legs, everything like that. And that's why there's this concept of symmetry. That's why Silam Tao we do on both sides. We stand here. You know, it's very different to, let's say, you know, boxing where you're jabbing. You know, so this one's for jab, this one's for the power shot. I mean, here you've got power shots too, but it's different. In that way, it's different. But having said that, probably everyone here has a favorite. If I say punch me as hard as you can, you'd probably use one arm rather than the other, and the kicks is the same. So know that about yourself as well, and position yourself where your weapons are, the good weapons are in range, so you can fire off straight away. Okay.